Hello, and thank you for joining Paper Crafting with Tracy. Today I'm going to show you how to make this card here. And this is using the Whale Watching stamp set that comes in the new mini catalog that's available until the end of December. So the first thing we're going to do is start with a white piece of cardstock. And I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper here. And we're going to do a little bit of brushing on there to get some color on there. So the colors I'm going to use are Pool Party, Balmy Blue, and some Azure Afternoon. And you always start with the light colors. So we'll start with Pool Party here. Get a little bit of ink on there. Okay, and I always start just off the page. And that way, this isn't going to matter so much because we're going to be cutting it out. So otherwise, sometimes you can end up with quite a dark edge on there. But where I'm cutting it out, it's not really going to make too much difference. Okay, and obviously I was pretty light. You probably can't see that too much. I can see a little bit. And I don't want to go up too far because as you can see in the whale, I don't want to completely shade in the whale. Okay, now it's starting to show up a bit. We'll add a bit more. And we're just layering. Okay, and that's probably all. I know it doesn't look like much there. So we'll put that away. And now we'll do some Balmy Blue. And I'm going to use the same brush. And you can see this one's starting to show a bit more as I get in some more. And I want more of the bottom. There we go. You can see it's darkening up now. Just getting some different colors. And now I'll put in some of this Azure Afternoon. Now be careful, this one is quite bright, as you can see from my brush. Okay, so again, see how it really, and then I'll start coming on and see how that's really bringing the blue in. And you can make it as dark or light as you wish. Okay, I'll probably add just a tiny bit more. I'm not too worried about these corners because again, I'm going to be cutting it out. And that's probably all I need. You can even darken it up a little bit more by adding a bit of Night and Navy, but I'm not going to do that this time. So I'll put those brushes aside, and I'm going to take my black Memento, and I'm using this stamp, and I'm just going to really ink it up. Now because this one has got a lot of the black that shows in an orca, I want to make sure I've got really good ink on here. I did add quite a bit of new ink to this pad. There we go. And I'll just stick that on there. Again, we're going to be cutting it out. Oops. Even pressure all the way around. And there we go. Now, before I go and cut that out, I'm going to do my last bit of stamping. And that's going to be with our sentiment. So for the sentiments, I am using what I've used many times before, the Go-To Greetings. I just find this an extremely useful stamps set for all the different occasions. And I think this time, because I did Happy Birthday here, I'm going to do a Thinking of You. And what I'm using for the sentiment die is with the Country Corners suite that is in the annual catalog. There is the Countryside Corner dies, and I just used the small rectangle. So I've already got that cut out. Let's put that aside for a moment. And I just used Night and Navy for that. Okay, and just be careful with these ink pads because they do hold a lot of ink. Okay, I just don't think I got the end of the G there. And There we go. And then I'm just going to take a little sponge dauber. Just because I wanted it to stand out a little bit more than white on white. So I'm just going to edge the edge of that with your sponge dauber. I just find it helps give it a bit of more definition. Just like so. You can add as much or as little as you want. Put a bit more in the corners. There we go. And that's the end of kneading the ink. So I'm going to take this, and what I used for the circles is, let me get that die set here. In the mini, it's in the catalog about the same, around the same page as this, is the deckled circled dies. And you can see them here. There's a couple missing because I used 2 of them, okay, 2 that were in there, for the blue, Night of Navy. And there is a size in between, which is what I used for the cutting this out. And I'm putting this on Night of Navy, like so, and cutting out, and then using the one that's in between to cut out this one. So I'll just take this over to my cut and emboss machine, and I'll just quickly cut this out. Okay, and here we have it. So I've cut that out. This was what I used, so you can see it was the one right in between. And with these ones, I cut out a ring of the Night of Navy. So we'll just put these aside. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm using the Twisted Rope 3D embossing folder to just some basic white cardstock. And that is the effect that I get. So now it's just assembling. So we'll just get all these pieces aside here. So I'm going to adhere this to my Night of Navy here. And I'll get my I was so excited when I saw this stamp set because I do live on the Pacific coast, so orcas come by here all the time. And there was lots of them here this summer. Okay, and I will adhere this to just our normal basic white thick cardstock as our card base. There we go. Okay. So what I did is I adhered this first. Oops, I got a bunch of little bits of paper stuck on there from my cut and emboss machine. So I will just put a little bit of tape on there and looking where I'm going to want it to go, thinking again that this is going to be around it, so I want to make sure I leave enough room. So I think about there will be good. And then to adhere this, I used some glue. Now I forgot to leave some glue out. And I don't appear to have some readily handy. Okay. Well, I guess I will have to... Normally I would use glue to attach this, but I guess I'm going to have to maybe just use some of my little Terran tape. Or actually what I will use, because it's just too narrow to use tape, so I will probably just apply it with some glue dots. I was using the multi-purpose glue for another project, and it's not within my reach here, so rather than abandoning my video to go get it, I will just improvise. So I'll just put some glue dots on here. Going along. Oops. They will work just fine. I probably need one more here. There we go. Oops. And we'll make sure that's all centered on there. And just put some good even pressure all the way around. There we go. And then to adhere this, I just use some dimensionals, which I do have here. So we'll oops. And then I wanted the frame to look kind of a bit like a porthole on a ship. There we go. So I applied some basic rhinestones. So I will grab these here. Oops. And so I've got some basic rhinestones here, so I'll just open those up and put some of those on, and then we are done. So all I did was kind of stick one top and bottom, and then just kind of evenly space these, almost like the 2 and 4 o'clock position, and then an 8 and a 10 o'clock position. Okay, you can put as many or as little on there as you wish. And that is it. Using the whale watching stamp set, making a little porthole window card. So I hope you enjoyed this edition of Paper Crafting with Tracy. Please subscribe to the channel, and happy stamping.